Hello, Soldier Boy here. So, I thought I'd do all daily races in one video, mainly because after today I'm back to work and this will be the only time I get to play the daily races this week. So we'll start with daily race A. I challenged myself to do 5 laps in qualifying, that's it, and that's my start time. So my best lap was a 1:31.023, which is 4 seconds off the pace and starts me in 7th place for the first race. It's a mixture of B's and C's, so I'm expecting a tough race, to be fair. I will say I did enjoy this race, or this daily race A. It was good fun with the Mini Coopers. I've not really used them before. So there we go, 7th place. Not a brilliant start, bogged down on the line massively, no traction control. I turned it off, so yeah, massively bogged down. Going into the first corner, braking hard, got a little hit from behind there. And probably going a little bit deep, so I'm going to keep the brakes on. A little nudge as we go off there. So we've dropped down to 9th place from a 7th position start. It's only 4 laps, so they're quite quick races, to be fair. Just trying to keep up with the cars ahead of me, just knowing that on the long straight there is a bit of slipstream. People will make mistakes as well, like the car there onto the grass. We're going to take him on the inside here. Hopefully he knows we're here. He does, he gives us a bit of space. Braking for the corner, probably quite late on the brakes really. Managed to keep it round though. We're quite bunched up ahead of us, which is never a bad thing because it means people should hopefully make mistakes. Bit deep into there, a little bit on the grass. The guy to the left hand side of us didn't really give us space on the exit, but we're back in the 9th. Bit of a nudge to the right as well to cause us to go into the barrier there. There's definitely no space given at all. So we're down to 9th from a 7th position start at the end of the first lap. I thought slipstream would actually help catch back up, but I found it to be very minimal, which doesn't help you really. So the best way of making up positions is the braking zones. Is kind of what I found. Braking for the first corner. Well, may have braked a little bit too much, but I wanted to make sure I made the corner properly this time, unlike last time. Try and get back on the accelerator quickly. And the group ahead of me is getting away a little bit. Yeah, there's a car right on my tail now. Just being aware of him. Any late dives or any pushes from behind. Into the corner. Missed the braking point completely. Went far too deep. Given up the position, or 2 positions now, so now down to 11th place. There's only 11 cars instead of the 12, someone must have dropped out, so now into last. Them 2 come together ahead of me though. Hoping to have a better drive out of the corner. Go to the inside just because I want to avoid being blocked really more than anything else. Braking for the corner. 9 touches the wall, so I managed to get straight past him. It'll be straight on my tail though. So back up to 9th. Another person's dropped out of the race, so there's now only 10 cars in it. And we qualified in 7th, so 2 laps in and we're 9th, so we've dropped 2 places in 2 laps. It isn't too bad considering this race was full of B and C drivers, so I've only just got into C. There's a car ahead of us looked to go off there, so that's brought him back to us. Yeah, I wasn't expecting to be quite high up, because knowing that there's B races as well. My qualifying time I was pretty happy with. I was surprised at how good it was. So, like I say, 4 seconds off the pace. I think I was a little bit heavy in a lot of the braking zones, which is probably a bad thing. If I had more time, like I said, I had 5 laps of practice and that was it. If I'd had more time, then I probably would have waited to do these videos and done them over a course of a few days and had a bit more practice, which would make things better. So we've lost ninth position there to the other British driver, as I went a bit too deep. Holding it together here though. And then coming up to the end of the lap, like I say, slipstream, I'm not really gaining back up, even though I'm in the slipstream with 2 cars ahead. Yeah, you can't rely on slipstream, and daily race A doesn't really do much for you by the looks of things. Across the line, starting the last lap now. We haven't matched our qualifying time yet, which is surprising. I thought you would have done in race, but that just goes to show how bad slipstream is, or how bad my driving got. Took that corner better. We've caught up with 9th. Yeah, the brakes were my main issue. I think I was very heavy on them, whereas a lot of people weren't. So they're braking too much. I could have took it a bit quicker. Just hoping the cars 9th and 10th fight and cause an issue for themselves. That would help me at this point, as we sit in 10th place. 8th and 9th, sorry. Yeah, as we sit in 10th. They've forced one onto the grass. They've both gone very, very wide on the corner there. So we've managed to get 1 place back. A little bit of a nudge as we took it though. But if we hold it together. So the last corner, if you can keep the last corner, if you can keep your position, you won't lose it on the straight. These cars aren't quick enough to actually do anything. So braked a bit less. So we're in 9th place as we hit the final straight for the finish line. And across the line. No, 9th place. Yeah, weren't too worried. I thought, yeah, that's not too bad. I'm quite happy with that. Like I say, it was full of B and C drivers. It's the 9th place. If the number on the side of the vehicle, the rumour is true, where that's what you're aiming for position-wise, I was only 2 off. So I did another race straight succession. So I didn't do anything in between the races. I didn't do try and get faster qualifying on time. This time I qualified in 4th, and this time it's between C and D drivers. And since I'm only just into C, I was well aware, bad result here, and I'll drop out of C back into D. I knew that was a massive possibility. So we start in 4th, bogged down again the line, tried to get a better start, didn't quite get it, but then 2nd didn't really get a good start either. Straight into the thick of it. They're all bunched on the left, so we're trying to stay right. Braking a little bit for the corner. Lost a few positions under braking. Braking again just because I thought I was going in too fast. Holding the inside line. And we're okay, we're in the 5th. We've lost 1 position from the start. That's not too bad. We know we've got a car on the outside of us. That's okay, he's gone off. So we're into 5th. Braking for the corner. Probably could have took that faster. 2 cars ahead of us had ghosted from going off there, so we're back up to 4th now. Little argy-bargy between us and 4th place as we try and take him there. Another car tries to dive bomb, messes it up. We've gone deep, but we hold it together well. And now we're just trying to take 3rd. We braked for the corner a little bit earlier than he did, so lost the position. That's okay. He's gone very, very wide on the exit. We've gone left. He's blocking us every way here to stop us going past. So braked for the corner. It's dropped us a little bit back of him. I tended to brake more than other people, I think, for that corner, which is probably a mistake on my part. Well, probably is a mistake on my part, admittedly. So we're in 4th. We started in 4th. First lap done. No positions lost. My aim was 5th or above. Because it's a mixture of C and D drivers, I had to finish high. That was a must at this point. Trying to take quite a bit of speed off for the corner just to hold it together so we don't go wide. Seemed to do it quite well. Like I say, minimal slipstream, didn't really matter being exactly behind the car. Got a little push from behind there into the corner, which did help me a little bit. So we're just keeping third in our sights here. I didn't realise at the time the top 5 is made up of all British drivers. Work that one out for you. Taking the corner, trying to just keep it on the track. Yeah, just keeping it on. Very slow exit there for me. Dropped us back a little bit. Again, trying to keep it on track. We can see third. We know it's there. It's very tight at the front. Braked a little bit too hard again. It's just avoiding hitting the barrier because you lose too much speed if you catch the barrier there on the through the corner. So knowing the position's safe now until we get to the braking zone at the end of the straight. Two laps in and still in 4th. Holding our position nicely. No mistakes now, just need consistency. These are very quick races. It's only 4 laps. So we did find they were very, very quick races. But so easy to lose driver rating and safety rating if you're not careful. I've noticed a big disadvantage, especially in this race, with not doing manual gears. Because I'm using a pad, I don't do manual gears. Just because it's far too complicated, unless you had the under paddles for your controller, which I don't. I'm thinking about it, but currently don't. Just because sometimes you're in a gear and you're revving it to the limit and it won't change. I think that does give you a disadvantage. A bit of argy-bargy between 3rd and 2nd there, hoping to take advantage. We've closed right up and 3rd has now got a penalty. That may help us coming into the last lap. Just got to hold it together here and don't let them get too far away. Taking that very tight but clean. Yeah, I'm hoping 3rd's penalty will help us. But it's this corner is kind of my downfall. I brake far more than anyone else. And I couldn't quite fix it on track at this point. But we know we can catch them back up. We will get tight back to them in braking zones. Just that last corner. That's my issue at this point. Across the line, last lap now. We're doing well, 4th place. I'm happy with 4th. But I know 3rd is now for the taking of his penalty. So just trying to keep this tight. Don't want to go too wide. As much speed as possible. There you go. That's what I mean. If I'd changed gear there, if it had been manual, I could have got more oomph going forward. I think that's what would happen anyway. I don't know for sure because obviously I've never tried it, but that's what would be my assumption. So it's something I've got to look at. I just can't get the hang of manual gears on a pad at the minute. So 3rd's had his penalty. That will catch us back up to him a bit. So we're right on his tail now. So I've tried to take avoiding action there just to avoid him. Got a bit unstable at the same time. We've taken 3rd. 2nd has gone off, so we're right on their tail. 4th has come back at us. He's going to hold that line. Whether he'll play dirty or not, I don't know. But just trying to hold it tight. Got a little bit of a nudge from behind there. He's took the inside. Not giving us any space at all as we enter the final corner. We've braked for the corner and given the position to him. He was not giving us space on the outside either. Yeah, we lost it on the braking for that final corner really, which is something if I had more time on this track I'd change. But I haven't got the time. That's why this has been done in one video, as I'm back to work after today for the whole rest of the week. So 4th place, pretty happy to be honest. So that was that race done. I enjoyed it. I think if I'd had a bit more time with it I could have done better. I could have got a few wins I think if I'd had more time. That final corner I could learn how to change my braking pattern for that, but unfortunately I don't have that time. So we moved on to daily race B next. It's confirmation of the 4th place, and the number on the side is 4. So And that was completely clean race, which was even better. So we move on to Daily Race B. Daily Race B we'd done previously in a C race with the Group B cars, Group 2 cars, something like that. I remember the track. So I went for my trusty Aston Martin, and we did a 1:44.402, which is 6 seconds off the top time, which wasn't too bad. Again, 5 laps only. That gave me a qualifying time. This Aston Martin is probably one of my favourite cars to use. So we go for the start. 9th place start. 4 laps. It's a very quick race again. It's quite nice about the daily races, I think, this week, is they are fairly quick races. So first corner, I'm expecting fireworks, as generally is in first corners. But actually, it looks fairly clean. A couple of cars come around the outside of me, keeping it tight though. We've dropped a position into 10th. But the first corner ahead of us was fairly clean for how bunched up they were. I was very surprised. Braking for this corner, probably did brake too much. Could have gone quicker through there. And then it's just about throttle control through this section, really. Got to control the throttle. Don't be over exuberant with the throttle. You won't keep the line. You'll just go wide. Nice and tight to the corner there, and then full speed ahead for this point. Cars going all over the place. We're going to take him on the inside now. So back up to 9th. Braking for this corner. You've got to brake nice and tight. Probably brake too early. A little bit of a bump there just to keep on the track. Yeah, probably that was my fault, to be fair. Another car gone backwards for some reason there, so up to 8th now. Started in 9th, got a little push from behind, which I slammed on the brakes to make sure I made the corner. The car who hit us then went off. I think he tried a second ram on the corner. That's okay. Braked far too early for the first corner, for the final corner, sorry. We got hit from the side, but we kept our position. So we finished in the first lap in 8th place, and we started in 9th. Can't complain. First corner again, braking nicely, keeping it tight, expecting a dive bomb, got a push from behind there, so having to try and hold it together. I think he used us as a braking point there for some reason. But we're on his tail, that's the main thing. Going a bit quicker through the corner. Just trying to keep in on 8th. We're still in 9th, that's where we started, so it's not too bad. He's gone very slow through this corner. We've tried to avoid him as well, we're trying to keep the throttle under control. Braking for the corner. Not pushing it massively. Just because I know you make a mistake and you're off, you're just going to struggle to catch back up, really. That's the only thing with these tracks being very short lapped tracks, is once you're off, catching up is horrendous. Braking for the corner, we're going to take the inside line. He's turned straight into us. Should have seen we were there, should have backed off a little bit, but that's okay, we've took the position. So we're now back up to 8th. Braking for the corner, got a little tap from behind there, managing to hold it together. Another tap from behind. And then as we've turned in, his back end is there. Nothing we could have really done about that. Braking for the final corner, again got hit. This is a car that was hitting us from behind earlier as well. So now it's a drag race. Me versus him, 2 cars, 1-on-1. He is nudging into us, there's plenty of room. There's no need to nudge into us, there's plenty of room there. It was as if he was trying to force us to go for a pit, when you don't need a pit on this track, so I don't understand what he was doing. He had plenty of room on the left hand side, and the racing line is the left hand side. He's gone up the inside of us under the braking zone. We've got a decent drive out of the corner. We've got a little bit of speed onto him, but he's got the inside line going into the corner. He's going to come across a little bit, so we've backed off, which has allowed another car to take the inside. So we lost two Well, we lost one position really, all because he made us back off. But then I was just trying to avoid hitting him really. So back down to 10th now. Braking for the corner. And just trying to keep up with these two. Got a bit of a gap to the cars behind, so that's okay. Just trying to keep up with these two and just, you know, I think I can get them under braking and maybe on the straight as well if I time it right. Taking it nice and tight. Ninth went a bit deep. We got a good drive out the corner. Braked too much, I think, on that bit. Went far too slow into the corner. So they've got a little bit ahead of us now. And again, braked probably a little bit too early. Probably taking these corners slower than I could do. But again, I've only had 5 laps of practice with this car on this track, so it's one of those really. But we're going to hit the straight. We're probably just out of slipstream range, to be fair. But we're down in 10th as we approach the start of the final lap. Kind of hoping they make mistakes now. That's a way forward, I think. First corner, we're good. Car behind us is a little way back, so we're okay there. Just got to hold it together now. Trying to take this corner a little bit quicker without going too wide on the exit, but we've held it. And we're catching the cars ahead. But is it enough? That's the thing. Braking for the corner. Took that quite nice and tight. Full throttle again now, just trying to keep up. They do. 1 minute you're catching them, the next minute they're getting a little bit further away. It's a nice tight section next though, so this is the best time to catch up if you can get them under braking. I've gone very deep into the corner, but over exuberant on the brakes, just didn't brake enough. The car tries to flick out a little bit on me, managed to hold it. Braking into the corner again. There's another car has joined us because they must have gone off ahead of us. Still in 10th. Not thinking I'm going to get much more now. I think 10th is kind of it. Depending on this last corner. Someone's got to make a major mistake though here, I think. No. Will we get him under slipstream? Slipstream's a little bit stronger. I don't think the straight or the start finish line is far enough away from us to catch, so to be fair. I know. So we finished in 10th. Another clean race, very few penalties, which I was expecting a lot more. That was a really enjoyable race. If you get the right car and the right people, that's a really enjoyable race to race. So I went straight into a second race. I changed my car this time. I went for the Mazda Atenza. The Mazda I find is very good under braking. So I thought, you know, although I like the Aston Martin, let's try the Mazda. This time we qualified in 13th. So a little bit further back than last time. But yeah, this car under brakes is really, really strong. So I was hoping with the tight braking sections I would have an advantage. Was my hope. But like I say, I didn't do any practice with this car. I went straight into this fresh after the last race. Not ideal really, but I wanted to stick to my 5 laps practice and that's it. First corner now. Will it be as clean as the last race? Braking a little bit late for the corner. Not as clean. Penalties all round. Car was right in front of us on the exit with nowhere to go. He's now hitting us off and not giving us any room at all. We've gained a couple of, up to 11th. I'm going to take the inside into the corner. Taking it nicely. The car that did have the position went wide. Yeah, that car was not giving us any space. We've gone wide round here, wider than I normally would. But I'm trying to get used to the car And this track, I should have, done the practice laps with this car, would have been ideal. Very wide there, the back end's flicking out. Managed to keep on the control. 9th place ahead of us as a penalty, and the car's gone off as well, so up to 9th now. So a 13th place start. Braking for the corner, like I say, this car under brakes is really good. It's judging where your braking point is though, because although I use the cones, this car is later on the brakes because they're strong, which isn't ideal with no practice. The back end trying to get away from me there. We know 8th has got a penalty, so if we keep up, a little ram from behind there, and he wouldn't let us turn the corner. Which has put us back a little bit. Braking for the last corner though, and with 8's penalty, a little touch from behind there, but managed to control it. He's got a 3-second penalty, and he just wouldn't let us go anywhere, and yet we now get the 2-second penalty for him spinning us out. That was ridiculous. He was not letting us go forward. He was straight on our tail. That was on purpose. That was just ridiculous. He had a penalty himself, so there was he was going to be thrown backwards. There was no need for that. So, taking the corner. We're down to 15th now at this point. Little tap to 14 with nowhere to go, unfortunately. Yeah, tell me if I'm wrong, but I don't think I deserved that penalty. I don't think that was my fault or fair on me. But unfortunately, that's how things are sometimes. So this is lap 2, down to 15th. We only started in 13th to be fair, so we haven't lost too much, but that penalty is going to screw me come the end. The car's getting away, I'm on the grass, which isn't helpful either. But yeah, on the straight, that penalty is going to mess me up massively. Just trying to keep close to them, and knowing full well the time is going to go away from me. Hoping they get some penalties ready to keep us a bit closer. The car in 12th has got a penalty. Hoping it's longer than ours, but it's unlikely. Taking the corners not as tight as I normally would for that corner. Probably not accelerating as much as I should have done to get to this corner either, which is probably slowing me down a little bit. Car's getting away from me again. I never used to have this issue with this car. I've got no traction control either. Turned it off again. But the car does like to, the back end seems to want to get away from me on this track. Could be the tyres, I don't know. So there's my 2-second penalty. And now there is a big gap to the car ahead of us. We've got a big gap to the car behind us, which is nice. But yeah, 15th place. Not ideal. We need cars ahead to make mistakes. It's the only way really for us to get anything from this race. It's only a loss of 2 positions admittedly, but for saying that was undeserved, we were competitive as well, which was a shame. And knowing this is my only race with this car on this track. But then that's the risk you take by setting limits and lack of time. But yeah, just trying to work my way back up now. Just trying to take every corner as fast as I can. Try and get a little bit of time back. Hope they make mistakes. Not losing hope, but kind of satisfied, I suppose is probably the wrong word, but kind of just having 15th. Wanting more, but that, under the realisation that's probably it. We do seem to be catching a little bit. We can see the cars ahead of us, but they need to make mistakes. They need to battle. Car gets a little bit away from me on the curb. Yeah, they need to make mistakes. That's really anyway catching up now. Final corner to the 3rd lap. I'm on the straight. I don't think we're in slipstream range. Someone ahead of us does have a penalty, but I don't think they're going to take it on this lap, no. So, final lap, that will give us a little bit of a chance if we get close enough, but it's getting close enough straight away, really. They've all got slipstream on each other, which will help them. I'm out of slipstream range, I think. Set our fastest lap as we hit the last lap now. First corner, there's a couple of penalties ahead of us. We've gone very deep into the corner. I was too busy looking at the penalties. if we can catch back up a little bit more, there's always a chance of a better finish now. Just trying to keep it tight, keep it fast. Using the throttle control where possible. Just trying to catch up. Might just be enough for us to get some places. Thing is, when you're pushing it too hard, you make mistakes, and that's what I'm trying not to do at this point. Braked very late for the corner, messed it up myself, that was my own fault there. And that's probably any chance of going any higher for us gone, although one car has gone off, he's spun. So we've got up to 14th now. Wasn't expecting that at all. Took the position, he must have had a little argy-bargy. But yeah, the corner previous we went into too deep, we were trying too hard. Whereas we should have just braked at a normal point. We gained the position from the car spinning, it's up to 14th, so we've only lost one position from where we started. Final corner. Knowing the car behind us got a penalty, we should be safe at 14th. And we crossed the line, 14th place. Not brilliant, not ideal, but we'll take it. Considering what we spun early on, the car forcing us off the track. So now we're going to start Daily Race C. Confirmation of the 14th place. Daily Race C is very, very tight. Daily Race C is a very tight race. And I did a couple of qualifying. I did 2 qualifying laps with the Hurricane. Then I changed to the Baby Veyron. I call it the Baby Veyron. I did a 1:24.309, which is 9 seconds off the top time, which starts us in 13th. Straight away during the 5 practice laps, I knew this would be a penalty frenzy. Safety rating's going to go out the window. I also knew, because this was a race between C and D's, a bad finish for me would drop me out of C, driver rating. I knew this before the race. So 13th place, you've got to keep it tight. I did find in qualifying I was probably braking too much in places when I probably could have took some more speed in. Starting on the hard tyres, you've got to change to mediums at some point, but I started on the hards. Fuel isn't an issue at all. 15 laps, they're quite quick laps, you know, 1:15 to 1:30 laps. So straight away we've caught the barrier there, just didn't take enough speed off. Cars ahead of us are battling, and we've gone past 2 as they hit each other. Ghosted out. A couple of cars ahead of us got a penalty. The track for this one is very tight. I found every red arrowed corner you have to touch the brakes a little bit for. That was my kind of strategy, that was what I kind of figured out. 10th is ghosted from, I had to avoid him after he come out of ghosting from his penalty. I'm caught the barrier there in the corner. Again, I'm not taking enough speed off. So he's come back on us. But yeah, every red corner, just beforehand, you need to touch the brakes. Just take some speed off to get round, that's what I found. But yeah, it's very tight. Overtaking, limited. And if anything, another touch from behind. My safety range dropping like flies. Caught the barrier, another catch the barrier there. Car ahead of us got a penalty. And we've now got a penalty for the barrier touch. And that's the problem. You touch a barrier, you've got a penalty. I got a 3-second penalty. Normally it's a second and a half, but for some reason they gave me a 3-second penalty. It's not going to help my race. There we are in 12th. 11th was going slow. We've gone past him. I think there was an issue between them two. Another little hit on the barrier. And a hit from behind as well. Just to, you know, help things along. I was getting annoyed at this race. I'm 2 laps in and already annoyed. There's anything I can say about this race? Don't bother. It's not worth the drop in safety rating. People tend to act like idiots. And this is our big penalty. So we've lost 2 places there, 3 places to position. But let's see that from behind, just hit him straight from behind, didn't care. And that's the problem with this. So we're now down to 15th of 17 cars, 16th is just behind us. Trying to just keep in a straight line without hitting the car ahead is impossible when no one gives you room. We're now down to 16th of 17 cars. As we're approaching the end of lap 2. My plan was to change tyres to mediums on lap 5. It's kind of the strategy I'd used at Monza. So I was just employing the same strategy. I didn't know the best strategy, admittedly. So down to 16th. Trying to take some speed off the corner. Not quite enough speed taken off as I catch the barrier, but no penalty luckily this time. Just trying to keep in touch with the cars ahead. While another car's dropped out, so we're now 16 cars and we've just been overtaken, so we're 16 of 16 now. And unless you get disconnected, I never understand why people rage quit. The drop in the penalty is too harsh, and why? Every race I've taken part in I've completed, whether I'm last or first. Unlike the other 2 previous races, because there was half an hour wait between this race starting and the next one for this race starting, I was only doing one. So this is my one and only race of daily racing, otherwise I would never get this video done in time. Just trying to keep up the cars ahead. This is lap 3. We're pitting at the end of lap 5. Safety rating now, no one is around us, is going back up, which is a bonus. Clear air and no one around you. Perfect for this, if you can keep it away from the barriers. Get more of an eye in for where the braking points are. Someone's pitting already. We are still on these. We're still around where we need to be, although I'd like to be a little bit higher. This will plummet my driver rating. No, I know this because I'm so far down, and this is C and D drivers, so I need probably above 10th if anything to not lose my C rating. We're on the tail. We're just trying to keep with them. Safety rating back up again, which is always good. We're catching up on 15th. We've got a better drive out of the corner. We've taken him. Penalties ahead as well, which will help. Taking a little bit braking, but not enough because I've hit the barrier. He's come straight to the side of me, but what can you do? Even watching this back now, I'm not enjoying the race at all. We've taken 15th from the car who had the penalty. He's right on us though. This may have been the wrong car for the track as well. This was quite good at taking the corners, but probably was a bit heavy on the brakes. So I saw a lot of people using the McGann, and possibly could have changed to that if I was going to do more than one race. But yeah, like I say, my advice for anyone looking to do this race, don't bother. It's just not worth it. So coming to the end of lap 4, so we're going to start lap 5, which end of this lap I will be pitting. 15th for 16. We've got the run on 14th here, but he is weaving all over the place, so we've hit the back of him because he was weaving in front of us. We had no chance. And then we've got a push from behind as well. Just trying to keep it tight. He is still weaving all over the place. He's indicating as well for some reason, but I don't know if that was for our benefit or not, to take him from outside, but we did. But then we've caught the barrier taking too much speed into the corner, so he's back past us. Caught the barrier again, too much speed into the corner, not taking enough speed off. But we're still up with the cars ahead of us, we're still with them. still 16 cars in the race from 20, so we've lost 4. So this car has got good speed, braking for the corner and being spun out because of it. I did find later on I didn't need to brake for that corner, I could take it full throttle, but yeah, spun out from the car ahead of us. I think he got a penalty of pitting now. While pitting, I will say, the rest of the race went exactly as you've seen, rubbish. So we are actually going to fast forward. The next 10 laps on mediums, I was last and stayed last. Nothing happened. My safety rating went up massively because I was just lap after lap on my own. So we're going to skip ahead to the last lap and the last bit of the last lap. I was taking the corners, but I kind of got my eye on by the end of it. But I was, yeah, the spin did me. Penalty didn't help, and it was a race I hated. I didn't enjoy it, and I race because I enjoy it, and I didn't enjoy it. So there we go. Oh, and my safety rating dropped. My driver rating dropped from C back down to D. So I've got to try and fix it all when I get finished work. Thanks for watching anyway. Bye bye.